Alright YouTube, this is Jeremy with Jeremy's Off-Road Adventure, and this is my son Ethan's 2019 RZR 570 EPS, and we are going to install a 2-inch Highlifter lift kit on this, and eventually 1-inch Highlifter wheel spacers, but I don't have them yet. So today we're just going to install the lift kit, and I'll give you some quick run over on it first. Let's see if we can do this. Okay. Lord. As you can see, let me try this way. Right now, ground clearance in the front is sitting at about 11 inches, just a little less. Probably actually closer to 10.5. But I do have the front preloads turned up to 3, I believe. And in the back, the light's not very good. But you can see it's sitting around about 9 inches. 9 inches of ground clearance in the rear. Now this has been a very capable trail machine, but we had an 800 and we put a 2-inch super ATV lift kit on it and made the machine so much better. Because this is a 2019, I could not get that same kit for it. The rear shock mounts are different on these and it does not fit. So I went with a Highlifter kit. We'll walk over. This is what the kit looks like. So lots of pieces. Looks very heavy, very well made. I have installed a Highlifter kit on a Rubicon 500. And it seemed like a very well-made kit, but it made the Rubicon ride rough, which it rode rough anyway, but it made it ride rougher. And it just wasn't really a good fit for it. But I'm hoping with the RZR that we can turn the preloads down like we did on the 800 and get a good fit out of it. So, alright, well, I'm going to try to get some video of putting this kit on, so you guys can see what it's like. All right. Okay, in the right rear. On the other side, this basically became a grind to fit kit, but we'll see how this one goes. 17. No, it's 15. Remove this lower shock bolt. Now, pay attention, there will be a washer bolt, and there will be a shim between the shock mount and the sway bar. Hello? Alright, as I was saying, remove the washer nut, 17 millimeter, and you have a spacer between the sway bar link and the shock mount, and make sure you don't lose that. Yep, that one's really stubborn. Generally these just slide out. That one's not wanting to. Okay, I got that out. I'll let it fall down. I'm gonna have to clean this one a little bit. There's some mud and stuff there. Okay. Alright, this plate is going to go on the outside. We'll go through it. That spacer will go right here. Like that. And then this large angled plate. We'll go on the inside, and like on the other side, it's not going down. And right here, there's a brake bracket that holds the brake line. That is interfering with it. And also when they twisted it, right up here in the front, it's not going down. This one looks better with the weld, and I might go ahead and hit that too with the grinder. This is supposed to be a bolt-on kit, but I wouldn't say that. It's a grind to fit kit. If you don't have the grinder and a little bit of knowledge, I don't know. You'd have to, it wouldn't fit right. I guess you could cut that line off and rebolt it somehow. Still, I think I can make it fit a little better than that, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, I ground some off of this right here, and I ground right here for the brake, and I angled this just a little bit to help clear that weld in the backside, and it fits down good now, good and tight, and flat on that A-arm, which is what I want. I want it to sit there good and flat. Now, I'm going to go hit this with a little bit of black paint where I've ground on it, just to be on the little safe side for rust and corrosion. And we'll put it on. Alright, I have painted the areas I ground on, and I'm going to go ahead and assemble it. Paint's a little wet, but I think we'll be good. Alright, we'll use our medium bolt, go through here, 10mm nut. They say 10, that's actually 17 head, 10mm diameter. Okay, short bolt, and there should be a large washer here. Where did I put it? Right here. Large washer. Washer goes in from the bottom through a hole in the A-arm, comes up to this hole in this bracket. 10mm. Well, it's actually 17 head, like I said before. Okay. Alright. Now we take the long bolt, 2 washers. Okay. Washer on either side of the shock. They said you could do this with the wheels on, but I don't believe it. I think it would be pretty difficult. Alright. Okay. Got that through. Now, we want our original spacer. That spacer that went between the sway arm link and the mount. And we'll also have our original washer. We get it. Okay. Original washer. Another one of the Super ATV, or no, Highlifter. And that's alright. These are all 17 mil. And we're going to tighten her back up with the impact. Well, help to have it in the proper direction. I guess that's going to be an outtake. All right, take 2. This one. I always like to go back and check it with a regular ratchet, just to make sure, just see how tight I actually got it, because the impacts are going to be hard to tell. And make sure I got everything good and snug. Any of it falling off on the trail. And this is one thing about this kit that I do really like. The sway bar link goes ahead and mounts in the original position with the shock. So it's not putting any extra stress on the sway bar itself. Because I put a I put a lift kit on a RZR 800 Super ATV kit that moved the shocks out, which I really liked the ride and handling of that kit, but it put extra strain, because this was mounted down here, put extra strain on the sway bar. Even though you were supposed to flip it over and make it reach it, we started breaking the sway bar. And that became an issue with that kit. The kit was really good otherwise. I liked but that was not an option for this, because the way these are made, you don't get that one piece bracket in there to move the shocks out. There's no room. Sway bar contacts. You can see this is extremely close right here at the bottom. So that's not an option for these. But this does seem to be a good kit. And I will put some reviews on how we like it and how it handles, because we'll start putting some trail miles on it. Like I said, I do also have 1-inch wheel spacers ordered, trying to keep this bike close to 50 inches. I believe with what I'm going to do, it will be like 51.5. If I put bigger tires, it may come out to 52.5. But we'll see. We'll see where it all comes out. But okay, that's the back. Put the wheels back on, and we will do the front. All right. Go ahead and remove your top bolt, your top sway bar nut, and wash in your rubber deal off both sides, so you can move this up and down to get it restarted. And you'll be putting a shim underneath this side. And I always like to put my bolt on this side and my nut on this side on the front of RZR suspensions, because when you turn the tire sharp, this little bit right here sticking out can rub your sidewall. And I actually damaged a sidewall. Not so bad we couldn't run it, but it did show damage on one of them. So I always put the bolt this way, and I don't have any issues with the bolt on this side. Okay, let's get started taking this sucker apart. We're going to remove this bolt, and then we're going to add our brackets. Remove the stock bolt and put it with this long bolt that comes from the kit, and we'll go ahead and add remove that lower rubber off your sway bar link. put this short 3/4 inch piece that comes with your kit and reinstall your rubber piece. Alright, we will have our shim, factory shim. Okay, that. Now, brackets. Let's go ahead and set. And make sure you put the angle to the inside to clear your welds. I'm not quite sure why they didn't put angles on the back side, and your shop needs to be out when you start this. Also, if it's on the inside, it won't clear. It won't come back around. On there, nut. One other thing we might discuss, I thought it would be a good idea to put the shocks or put your sway bar mount up top like they do on the back. But I see why they put it on the bottom. It will rub your tire. So we gotta put it there anyway. Go ahead and get that started. Alright. Doing good here. Now our medium length bolt. Make sure you put your washer between your shock. They are tricky little hookers. Between our shock and our mount. Weld stick in there. There we go. All right. Now, started. Everything seems to be lined up. Okay. Tighten her up. Okay. Now, get this started. And if you have trouble with this, you can't get enough length, you can put your floor jack under your arm and push it up so it will start, which I think I'm going to have to end up doing it myself. Get a picture of that. We'll let her down onto my jack stands. get started. Try to put your rubber bushings back in the same position they were before. I like that because that's the pattern they were wore in, especially when it's been worn a lot. Alright. I think that's going to pretty well do it. Put my wheels back on and we'll get around and we'll sag it in a little bit and then we'll take some measurements and see what we've gained. Okay. Final thoughts on our modifications we've made. I started with 10 inches of ground clearance on the front of the RZR, and now you can see when you level I have a full 12 inches of clearance and have much better, with the 1-inch spacers, I have much better suspension room here. My width with the 2-inch lift and the 1-inch wheel spacers is now 51¼ inches from outside to outside, front and rear. I have a full 11 inches of clearance under the center skid, and I now have right just a little over 10 inches, about 10 3/8 in the rear. I started at 9 inches, so I did not get a full 2 inches of lift back here, and that is with my preloads set 1 notch from hard. So we only got 1 3/8 inches of lift out of the rear, but you know, other than that, I'm pleased. I'm happy with it. It rides good. It seems to be handling well. We're going to do some testing on that later. Let my son drive it, and we'll do a review on how everything works. The rear width is also 51¼ inches, and that is with 25-inch Maxxis tires on it. So for everybody that wants to know, that's what you will come to with 1-inch spacers and a 2-inch lift. I think that would probably slide through most any gates at any place you want to go, and the ground clearance is much better. Like I said, we're going to test her out and see how well it goes. If you like what you've seen, subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll be bringing you more videos and more fun. All right. See you guys later.